Okay, everybody, welcome to our Thinking Thursday and our next session on Bhagavatam Purana. And we have our teacher, our Guru, Vinod Sharma ji, here with us today. And Vinod ji, over to you.
Hare Krishna to everybody.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
शकुंतला जी, आपको जो श्लोक हैं
हाँ,
इसका हम उच्चारण करते हैं आरंभ में, वो स्क्रीन पे लाइए। हाँ, आई थिंक अभी सभी लोग परिचित होंगे इस श्लोक से। तो एक एक शब्द के बजाय मैं दो शब्द साथ में लूंगा। नारायणम नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणम नमस्कृत्य
Narayanam Namaskritya
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्
Tato Jayamudire
ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्।
Tato Jayamudire
तो फिर से हम इसका उच्चारण करेंगे एक एक वाक्य साथ में। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य
नारायणं
Namaskritya
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
नरं चैव नरोत्तमं
Tamam
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं
ततो जयम् उदीरयेत्।
ततो जयमुदीरयेत्।
कोई इसका भी जो अनुवाद है, ट्रांसलेशन है, वो कोई वॉलंटरीली पढ़ेगा?
मैं ट्राई करती हूँ। Before reciting this Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest, one should offer respectful obeisance unto the personality of Godhead Narayana, unto Narayana Rasi,
ऋषि
supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Srila Vyasadeva, the author.
हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.
इन सभी महानुभावों को अपना प्रणाम अर्पण करने के बाद हम इस भागवत पुराण का जो विषय है उसकी चर्चा आरंभ करेंगे। As last time Trupti ji and Varsha ji and even I think Shakuntala ji also agreed that we should make it more interactive. So I would request and appreciate if those who are there, if you also can participate actively with your whatever realization, understanding you have about what we are discussing. Is that okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So today we are going to speak about after Krishna left this planet. If we go in the Bhagavatam, chapter after chapter in the first canto, so there is a description of a very nice kind of a meeting when Krishna met Dwarka Vasis when he went back from Hastinapur to Dwarka. So, and then after that, Yadu's whole clan of Yadu dynasty, the Yadu dynasty members, family members, they fought with each other and they killed each other. And then at the end, Krishna also left the planet. So actually, it's very interesting kind of incident which happened that time. But today, I don't want to focus so much on Krishna's leaving the planet, but only I want to touch the interesting point that why Vyasadeva, in the beginning of Bhagavatam itself, he's talking about Krishna leaving the planet before even talking about Krishna's Leelas. Very interesting point we need to understand here. as it is said, when anyone, any human being or any being is born, at the time of birth, that time and date of birth is already written, right? That death is inevitable fact of life. That's the ultimate truth of life in this material world. Nobody can avoid death. Am I right? Yes or no?
Yes, true.
Yes, yes.
So death is the ultimate truth of life. So because that's the ultimate truth, so Vyasadeva is starting to make us understand that in this material world, we should be more realistic, right? बहुत बार ऐसा होता है. Many times people they say that that we should not talk about these negative things, death and all that. जब भी किसी का देहांत हो जाता है, so after that, after somebody's demise, there is a custom that we speak from Garud Purana, right? 7 दिन की गरुड़ पुराण की कथा होती है. Now in Garud Purana, so many things are mentioned, what happens after death. So people, they don't want to hear about this. वो जैसे शत्रुमुर्ग होता है ना, what is the word for शत्रुमुर्ग in English?
Ostrich.
Ostrich.
Yes.
Ostrich.
So he puts his head in the sand, being oblivious, aloof about what is happening in the surrounding. So लोगों को ऐसी परिस्थिति में जीना अच्छा लगता है. अपनी आंखें बंद करके रखिए, जैसे समझो कुछ हो ही नहीं रहा अपने आसपास. So आंखें मूंद लेने से जो वास्तविकता है वो नहीं बदल जाएगी. If we shut our eyes, the reality of life will not change. So human form of life is such, it is very important, very significant. We need to face the reality. We need to prepare ourselves so that we can face the reality. Not only face the reality, but we conquer the situation, what is happening in our life, whether it's miserable situation or favorable situation. So that's the fact of life. That's why Vyasadeva is starting the Bhagavatam whole katha about the incident when Krishna left the planet. After that, his devotees left the planet. And who are his dear devotees? We are talking about Pandavas.
Pandava.
Right? Now in the Bhagavatam, the description which is mentioned about how Pandavas, they left the planet. Now what happened? Why did they have to leave the planet? This is very interesting part. I would request everybody to read after today's discussion in the first canto. Bhagavatam के पहले स्कंद में ये सब बातें हैं, पहले अध्याय में. Now when you will read the description, the expression of of Arjuna's emotions after Krishna left, I guarantee you, that you will feel the spiritual emotional feeling, not material emotional feeling, but spiritual emotional feeling. जैसे हम कहते हैं ना, रोंगटे खड़े हो जाते हैं. The hairs will start standing on the ends, and we'll start feeling the ecstasy. अपने आप स्वतः ही रोना आना आरंभ हो जाएगा. ऐसे सब भाव उत्पन्न होते हैं. So when we do any kind of spiritual practice sincerely, if we are doing it with proper devotion and in the surrendered mood, Krishna reciprocates with us. कृष्णा है ना, हमारे हृदय में वो भाव उत्पन्न करते हैं जो होना चाहिए, आध्यात्मिक भाव, भक्ति भाव जो होना चाहिए. So Arjuna, when he started expressing his emotions to Maharaj Yudhishthira, that what he felt after Krishna left, he felt that there was no life in his body. Krishna was like his life, right? So as the soul leaves the body becomes lifeless. So Arjuna was feeling like that. And Arjuna was reminded of so many incidents he's talking about to Maharaj Yudhishthira, that how Krishna helped them in different situations of misery, calamities. Some of these situations I would like to share with you. Some of you may be knowing about it. When the war was going on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, so there was a war going to take place between Arjuna and Karna. That was a very decisive war. Everybody was waiting for that moment when both these ace warriors face each other. Right? So what had happened on that day, Karna, he had wounded Maharaj Yudhishthira, and Maharaj Yudhishthira could not face him. if Karna wanted, Karna could have killed Maharaj Yudhishthir. And if he had killed Maharaj Yudhishthir, the war would have ended with the defeat of Pandavas. But Karna did not do that, because Karna had promised Mother Kunti that he will not kill any of her sons except Arjuna. He will not try to kill Arjuna. He knew that he will not be able to kill, but he said that he will only fight with Arjuna and make an attempt to kill him. So whatever would be the end result of the war, Kunti will have her 5 sons alive. If Arjuna dies, then Karna would be alive and 4 of the rest of her sons. And if Karna gets killed, then Arjuna would be alive, of course. So then, because he had promised Mother Kunti like that, so he did not kill Maharaj Yudhishthir. And because Maharaj Yudhishthir was wounded, so his charioteer, he drove the chariot to the tent to take care of his wounds. So when Arjuna got that news that Maharaj Yudhishthir was very badly wounded and his body was bleeding from different parts, and because of that, Maharaj Yudhishthir had to leave the battlefield. So Arjuna was not able to fight with proper enthusiasm, which a warrior should have. He was focused on how Maharaj Yudhishthir must be feeling. So he was concerned, he was worried about Maharaj Yudhishthir. So you asked Krishna to drive the chariot to the tent of Maharaj Yudhishthir to make sure that he's alive and he's taken care of very well by the Vaidyas. So Arjuna and Krishna arrived in the tent of Maharaj Yudhishthir. So Maharaj Yudhishthir was lying on the bed. He was wounded. He lost. So when he saw Arjuna and Krishna entering his tent, so he thought that Arjuna had already killed Karna. And to give that good news, they went to see Maharaj Yudhishthir. So Maharaj Yudhishthir, presuming that Arjuna had already killed Karna, so he congratulated Arjuna and Krishna and told Arjuna that I'm very proud of you. I knew very well that you will be able to kill Karna one day, and today you are making me proud, proud of you, feeling proud of you. So when Arjuna told him that he actually has not fought, his war has not taken place properly with Karna yet. So when Maharaj Yudhishthir heard that, he chastised Arjuna, he criticized Arjuna. He told him, what kind of warrior are you? You are not qualified to carry the Gandiva bow. You should give up this Gandiva bow. You are not worthy of carrying this Gandiva bow. And you are not qualified to be called as an ace archer. Paramveer. So when Arjuna heard that, he got very upset. He got very angry. Because Arjuna had taken a vow as a Kshatriya, if anyone tells him that he is not qualified to carry Gandiva bow and criticizes him, he would kill that person. So Arjuna started, preparing himself to kill Maharaj Yudhishthir. Now here, when Krishna was observing all these things, Krishna immediately stopped Arjuna. What are you doing? He is your older brother, father figure to you. You have so much respect for him, high regards for him. You worship him. And now you want to kill him. So Arjuna said that I'm bound by my pratigya, by my vow I have taken. If anyone criticizes my Gandiva bow and tells me that I'm not qualified to carry a Gandiva bow, I will kill that person. So I have to fulfill my pratigya, my vow. So then Krishna pacified him, told him that, Maharaj Yudhishthir is wounded and he has lost so much blood. Because of losing so much blood, he's not able to think rationally. Otherwise, he's the epitome of piety. He's Dharamraj. Can you imagine that, Dharamraj will speak to you like this? He will criticize you. He adores you so much. He admires you so much. And because of losing blood in you, he's not feeling well. He's so weak. That's why he's not able to think properly. So you should not kill. You should not think of killing himself. So when Maharaj Yudhishthir saw Arjuna getting ready to kill him, Maharaj Yudhishthir again continued talking to him. He said, yes, you're right. Actually, I'm not qualified to be the emperor, to become the emperor of this world, this earth planet. Actually, the more qualified person than me is Bhima, who is a proper warrior. So you kill me and you make your Bhima as the emperor after you kill the Kauravas and kill Karna. So when Maharaj Yudhishthira started speaking like that, so Krishna pacified him also. He told him that, you need to understand that Arjuna is a Kshatriya. He has taken a vow. That's why he was talking to you. But Arjuna also is so respectful to you. He worships you like a father figure. So you should not feel upset about him. So in this way, in that situation, Krishna was, playing the role of a mediator, pacifying both sides. So he pacified Maharaj Yudhishthira. Otherwise, Maharaj Yudhishthira was getting up to go to Himalayas to meditate. He said, I want to renounce the world. I'm not qualified to become the emperor of the world. So all these situations, Krishna was able to handle tactfully. So Arjuna was reminded of all these things. He said, he was telling Maharaj Yudhishthira, even both of us, when we had the disagreement, we were so upset with each other. We got angry with each other. I wanted to kill you and you wanted to renounce the world. At that time also, because of Krishna, our relationship was patched up. The differences between us was patched up. So he was reminding Maharaj Yudhishthira about that, all these things. So in that incident, at that time, what happened when Krishna pacified Maharaj Yudhishthira, after that, Arjuna started preparing to kill himself. He started chanting the mantra of Agni Dev to provoke the Agni so that he can enter into fire to kill himself. So Krishna asked him, have you gone crazy? Have you gone mad? Why are you doing that? So Arjuna said, I'm feeling so grieved, so upset with my own self. I don't like myself. How could I be so disrespectful to my elder brother, Maharaj Yudhishthira? How could I speak to him like that? So I want to kill myself. Now here again, Krishna very tactfully told Arjuna, it is said in Shastras, one who glorifies himself, that person, he's killing himself, he's committing suicide. Now, if we follow that injunction of the scriptures, how many times we commit suicide every day? We glorify ourselves so many times every day, right?
In fact,
so in the scriptures it is mentioned, if someone glorifies himself or herself, that means the person is committing suicide. So from that perspective, we are committing suicide every day so many times, right?
Correct.
And then he told Arjuna that you wanted to kill your older brother. So it is said that if someone becomes disrespectful to a senior person, to an elder person, that means the person is killing that person. So you insult your brother. Now, in our Hindi language, there are proper words to address the senior people. People who are younger to us, we say tu.
Tu.
Shakuntalaji, what is
Yes,
something?
it is tu only. The word tu. Correct.
So if the person is younger to us, we say tu. The person who is like same age, we say tum. Right? And person who is senior to us, older than us, we say aap. Respectfully. Correct? Now, of course, because of love and affection, even to mothers also, we address as tu. We don't say aap generally. Right? But that doesn't mean that, we don't have any respect for our mother. So Krishna explained to Arjuna like that. Then when Arjuna heard these words, then he started talking to Maharaj Yudhishthira that you are not qualified to become an emperor. Because of you only we had to go to 12 years of exile. And because of you only we lost the Indraprasth, the kingdom of Indraprasth. Because of your addition to gambling, to the dice game, we suffered a lot. Because of one person like you, we have suffered, the whole family suffered. So you are not qualified to become the emperor. So after insulting his brother like that, Arjuna felt very bad. Then after that, he wanted to commit suicide. Then Krishna pacified. So all these incidents, Arjuna was reminded. He remembered all these incidents, and he told Maharaj Yudhishthira, without Krishna, he told him that we could not have done anything in our life. And that is true actually. Krishna's expansion, the soul, spirit soul within our body. If that soul leaves our body, we cannot do anything. Krishna is the super soul, Krishna the supreme spirit, and his expansion, the spirit we have, spirit soul. If that spirit soul leaves the body, our body becomes useless. So for what reason we become so arrogant? We become so proud. We feel so proud of our caliber, our qualification, our knowledge, whatever we may have. Actually, everything is coming from Krishna. Now, here also in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says that remembrance and forgetfulness also comes from Krishna. Now, you may know that Bhishma Dev, he fell on the bed of arrows on the 10th day, I think on the 10th day of the war, or the Kurukshetra war, right? After Bhishma Dev fell on the bed of arrows, then only Karna entered the battlefield and Karna started fighting. And Karna, face to face, he encountered, he had fought with Arjuna face to face. But still, Karna did not even remember even once that he should use the weapon which was given to him by Indra, Lord Indra. Are you familiar with that incident that Karna had got a weapon from Indra? Would anyone like to share that incident when Indra gave him that weapon, Shakti weapon, to Karna? What was the incident? So please, I would humbly request to all of you, please read Mahabharata. Very interesting incidents are mentioned, and from all these incidents, if not from each, but most of the incidents, we learn a lot. So before the war started, Krishna went and met, Krishna had a meeting with Karna. See now how Krishna protected Pandavas, how Krishna protected Arjuna particularly. So he met Karna and he told him that, he gave him he revealed Karna's true identity to Karna himself. He told Karna that he was the son of Kunti. He was the eldest son of Mother Kunti. And he was born to Mother Kunti before Mother Kunti was married to Pandu, King Pandu. So in that regard, Karna was the eldest son of Mother Kunti. So it was not appropriate for Karna to fight against his younger brothers, Pandavas. Karna did not know that before. So when he came to know, then, he became helpless. He told Krishna that now you made me helpless. How can I fight with my younger brothers now? But still, because I promise Duryodhana, I will fight. Even if I have to fight with my younger brothers, I will fight with them. And Karna had the kavach, the shield on his chest. And he had the earrings from his birth. So which were the blessings of Surya Dev, sun god, the sun god. And they were so powerful that the repelling effect on all the divine weapons. So Arjuna could not have killed Karna. Arjuna could not have harmed, what to speak of killing him. He could not even harm Karna by using the divine weapons, because Karna's shield and the earrings, they were very powerful. So Krishna did not want Karna to go on the battlefield having the kavach and the earrings. So he inspired Lord Indra to go and beg from Karna his shield and the earrings. So Karna had a kind of a ritual he used to do every day. At the time of sunrise till the noon time, he would pray to the sun god. Sun god was like his Ishtadev. He did not know at that time the sun god was his father. So he used to worship sun god. So at the noon time, after he would finish his the prayers, mantras, he would give in charity to Brahmanas. And after that, he would start his other daily activities. That was his ritual, every day's ritual he used to do. So Indra knew about it. So Indra took the form of a Brahmana and went and asked for his shield and the earrings, kavach and the earrings. So Karna, because he was bound by his vow, he had taken a vow that anyone goes and asks from Karna at that time, Karna will not refuse to that beggar or Brahmana whatever the person asked him for. So when Indra asked him, so Karna could not refuse him, and Karna cut his shield and then the earrings and gave to Lord Indra. And in exchange, Lord Indra gave him this Shakti weapon. And Lord Indra told him that Karna could use that Shakti weapon only once in his lifetime. And after Karna would use that once, after that the Shakti weapon will go back to Lord Indra. So after Bhishma Dev fell on the bed of arrows, at least 5-6 days, Karna was like the commander-in-chief of Kauravas. So he could have used that, the Shakti weapon. But he did not use it because he could not remember to use it. The forgetfulness came from Krishna. Krishna made him forget that he had the Shakti weapon. He could use that weapon on Arjuna, kill him, then the war would be ended. But Karna could not remember that. Even when Dronacharya was the commander-in-chief, Karna was fighting under his flag. He could not remember. Then Karna had to use that Shakti weapon to kill Ghatotkacha, Bhima's son. And after that, he became helpless. So this is the way Krishna protected Arjuna and Pandavas from all the calamities. So Arjuna remembered all these things. So when Maharaj Yudhishthira heard from Arjuna all these incidents, and Arjuna told him that he was carrying the same Gandiva bow, he was having the same chariot, the horses also were the same, which were there at the time of war of Kurukshetra, but he lost all the power. The horses also lost all the power. The chariot also lost the speed, could not run at that same speed. The way it was running, when Krishna was a charioteer. So Arjuna said, I'm the same person, but after Krishna has left, as though I has lost all my strength, all my power is gone with him. He lost that glow on his face Arjuna used to have. And he told Maharaj Yudhishthira that I have lost that glow also. The glow on my face also has left me. It has gone with Krishna. So when Maharaj Yudhishthira heard all these things, then Maharaj Yudhishthira decided to leave the planet. So when Maharaj Yudhishthira decided, so his brothers also, very obedient brothers, they also decided, and Draupadi also decided to leave the planet. So Maharaj Yudhishthira enthroned Parikshit Maharaj, and for Dwarka, the king of Dwarka, as king of Dwarka, he enthroned, did the coronation ceremony for the grandson of Krishna, Aniruddha's son, Vajra. So he became the king of Dwarka. And Hastinapur was ruled by Parikshit Maharaj. And all these 5 brothers and Draupadi, they left Hastinapur. They started walking on the Himalayas. Now, very interesting point here. When you hear this, so you will realize what's the reason that Maharaj Yudhishthira is called as epitome of piety, Dharamraj Yudhishthira. Yeah, you can see the picture here. All 5 brothers and Draupadi also walking on Himalayas. Through the Himalayas, they went to the heavenly planets first, and after that, they went to the Krishna Loka. They got liberated. So when they were walking, first, Queen Draupadi fell on the ground. So the 4 brothers asked Maharaj Yudhishthira why Draupadi had to fall. Because they had decided to enter the heavenly planets in the same body, because they were qualified. So when they were walking, so first Draupadi fell on the ground. And she was about to leave the body. So Bhima asked Maharaj Yudhishthira that why Draupadi has to leave like this. She is a chaste woman and she is qualified to go to the heavenly planets in her same body. But Maharaj Yudhishthira said no. She was very biased towards Arjuna. She was favoring Arjuna always. Though she was married to all 5 brothers, but she always used to favor Arjuna. So because of this partiality she had in her heart and special feeling she had for Arjuna, she is not qualified to enter the heavenly planets in her same body. She had to leave that body. So after Draupadi fell on the ground, she left the body. Then Sahadev fell on the ground. So Bhima asked Maharaj Yudhishthira again that what's the fault of Sahadev? So Maharaj Yudhishthira told them, now see, these qualities, sometimes, the good qualities also make us arrogant, make us feel unnecessarily proud of our good qualities. When we are Sattva Guna also, good quality of Sattva Guna, so the Sattva Guna also becomes the cause of sprouting of the Tamo Guna. That is ego. Our ego becomes stronger. Because if we have qualities, more good qualities, so sometimes those good qualities, the realization of good qualities also become the cause of bad quality. That is ego. So Sahadev, he told him that Sahadev was arrogant about his tolerance level. Now we are told in our spiritual life we should be tolerant, right? Most of us, we don't have so much tolerance. We talk about it and we can understand also how important it is. But when it comes to actual practicing, having tolerance in our practical life, it is very difficult to practice tolerance. We become so upset, we become so irritated, so disturbed. If someone does something against us, against our expectation, against our desire, against our anticipation, so we feel immediately disturbed. So Sahadev was very tolerant. So Sahadev also had to leave the body. After that, Nakula also fell. So Bhima asked Maharaj Yudhishthira, why Nakula had to leave the body? So Maharaj Yudhishthira told him that he was very proud of his beauty. Nakula was very beautiful. There was no young prince or king who was as beautiful as Nakula was. So Nakula was very proud of his beauty. Then Arjuna had to fall. Then Bhima asked Maharaj Yudhishthira, why Arjuna? Arjuna is the person who heard this knowledge direct from Krishna, the knowledge of Bhagavad Gita, sublime knowledge. So Maharaj Yudhishthira told him about Arjuna the same thing, that Arjuna was very, very proud of his archery, that he was an ace archer. So because of that pride, though Arjuna, when he was alive, he had already been to the heavenly planets. Now from this incident, we need to understand these kind of leelas Krishna's devotees are performing, following the instructions of Krishna to teach us something. Now there is no question about Arjuna being proud. Arjuna was very humble, very submissive. That is the reason Krishna chose him to be his disciple, to impart that knowledge of Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. Arjuna was not an ordinary person. But through Arjuna, Krishna is trying to teach us that pride, even someone becomes ace archer, when someone is qualified to go to the heavenly planets to get all the divine weapons. But still, at the end of the life, such a person, because of the pride and arrogance, is not qualified to go enter into the heavenly planets with the same body, in the same body. So Arjuna also left his body and he went to the heavenly planets first. And after that, Bhima fell down. Now here, very interesting point. Bhima asked Maharaj Yudhishthira, why I also have to leave the body here? Why I cannot enter the heavenly planets with this body? Bhima also had entered heavenly planets with the same body. When the time is appropriate, I will share that incident when why Bhima went to the heavenly planets in the same body. So he fell down. So now Yudhishthira, Maharaj Yudhishthira, very interesting point. Please listen carefully. Maharaj Yudhishthira told him that you are falling down here. You had to leave this body because you are so attached to your tongue. You're eating, relishing food. So people who are attached to eating good quality food, good tasty food, so that attachment also can become the cause of the person to fall down. Now the tongue has two qualities, two activities, right? One is tasting the food, other is talking. So some people, they like to eat good quality food, good tasty food. They relish that, palatable food. So they become attached. Now, that doesn't mean that, we should not relish, we should not appreciate if somebody is cooking very nicely. We should not appreciate that person. That doesn't mean that. But we need to be very mindful. Very interesting point, here I would like to share with you. what is said in Ayurveda. In Ayurveda, it is said when one starts relishing food, one should stop eating food. Now it may sound like a punishment, right? When you are just about to relish food, how can we stop it? हाँ, जब हमें किसी खाद्य पदार्थ का स्वाद अच्छा लगता है, तभी हमें कोई कहे कि आप छोड़ दो, भी खाना बंद करो, तो बहुत अच्छा नहीं लगेगा ना, हमें बहुत बुरा लगेगा. So this is the instruction given. That means, we should not take in the literal sense. That means we should become very mindful, because when the food is tasty, we enjoy the food, we cross the limit, we don't know where to stop, then we overeat. Then overeating can become the cause of ill health. So because of that, in our scriptures, these kind of instructions are given. So Maharaj Yudhishthira told Bhima that because you are fond of eating, you are not qualified to enter into the heavenly planets with the same body. Then Maharaj Yudhishthira was walking alone. And then it is said that Indra himself came on his chariot, not on his chariot, it is said on his Aravat elephant, and he brought a chariot for Maharaj Yudhishthira to go to heavenly planets in the same body. Maharaj Yudhishthira's only right big toe melted, got dissolved when he was walking on the Himalayas. Because on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, he was reluctant to follow the instructions of Krishna and lying to his guru. When Krishna told him to lie to his guru Dronacharya and tell him that his son Ashwathama was killed, so Maharaj Yudhishthira was very reluctant, because he put moral values, he gave more importance to moral values than the instructions of Krishna. So because of that reluctance he had while following the instructions of Krishna, his right big toe got melted. So when Indra came to receive him, Maharaj Yudhishthira told him that I will not go alone. Indra said, you lost your brothers, you lost your wife. Who else do you want to go with you? At that time, Maharaj Yudhishthira pointed to a dog. Dog was walking with them. He told Indra that on the whole journey, so far, what I did from Hastinapur to this point of Himalaya, my wife left me, my brothers left me, but this dog, very faithfully, is still walking with me. So he's not giving up my company. How can I give his company up? So I want the dog also to go to heaven with me. So when Indra heard that, he got so surprised. Then it is said that actually that dog, he was Dharamraj himself. Dharamraj himself took the form of a dog and walking with Pandavas to test how pious, how thoughtful, how ethical Maharaj Yudhishthira was. He was giving same equal importance to a dog like he would have given to his wife and his brothers. From that day onwards, in our Vedic culture, it became a custom, the housewives, when they used to cook the meals in the morning, one chapati, one part they will feed the cows, and one part they would feed the dogs. The dogs are fed. And in India, people still do that. So पहली रोटी गाय की होती है, दूसरी रोटी कुत्ते के लिए होती है. Because they say that the dog is epitome of Dharamraj. Because Dharamraj had taken the form of a dog. So then Dharamraj appeared from the form of that dog. And he said, I wanted to test you. And I'm proud of you that you have all the qualities what a pious person should have. And now you're qualified to go to the heavenly planets in the same body. So Maharaj Yudhishthira, the chariot which Indra had brought with him, he boarded a chariot, and on that chariot he left the planet. Now what happened after they left? Now so far whatever I spoke about, anybody wants to ask any question or say any point, any addition you want to, or any comment?
I like this dog wala part because I've seen his picture में भी था, but I just wanted to know कि ये dog था कौन. Now it's very clear कि ये खुद धर्मराज हैं.
Yes. Dharamraj wanted to test Maharaj Yudhishthira.
Yeah, this is good.
Dharamraj tested because Maharaj Yudhishthira is Dharamraj's son, right? So
Okay.
Dharamraj tested his own son twice in his lifetime. One was at the end of his life, and one was, you may be knowing, that when the Pandavas, they were in the forest and they were feeling thirsty, so they went to look for the water, and one by one, the brothers, they got killed. The Yaksha, that very
Yes.
incident, very famous incident,
Yes.
the Yudhishthira Yaksha Samvad, in Mahabharata, that incident.
Yes.
So when the time comes, we'll discuss about that whole incident in more detail. So at that time also, it was the Yaksha, in the form of Yaksha, Dharamraj himself was there to test his son, how pious, how knowledgeable, how balanced, how controlled he was. Anything else? If anybody wants to comment on so far what we discussed.
It is good.
I have one question.
Yes.
Like you said कि युधिष्ठिर का जो टो था वो मेल्ट हो गया था,
हाँ.
तो क्या वो हेवनली प्लेनेट पे एक डिफॉर्म्ड फिजिकल बॉडी के साथ अलाउड था?
Very good question. Very good question. Well, can I ask, why did you ask counter question? Why did you ask this question?
ये ऑटोमेटिकली एक दिमाग में आया कि या तो वो सोल की फॉर्म में जाता वो हेवनली प्लेस में, या वो पूरा ही परफेक्ट फिजिकल फॉर्म में होना था. तो ये एक थोड़ी सी विकृति आ गई, तो ये सवाल दिमाग में आया.
Very true. Very true. Now in this incident, I'm very grateful that you raised this point. Very interesting point and very meaningful when we understand about this. हाँ, जब भी शरीर में कोई विकृति आ जाती है, तो वो व्यक्ति he is not qualified to enter into the heavenly planets. You might have heard about Trishanku, King Trishanku. Have you heard about King Trishanku?
Yes. वो आसमान और उसमें से धरती के बीच में लटका रहा था.
हाँ, क्यों लटका रहा वो?
कहानी पढ़ी, अभी भूल गए.
हाँ, actually the King Trishanku, he was very dear disciple of Vishwamitra. And he was so submissive, and Vishwamitra was so pleased with his services, with his devotion towards Vishwamitra. So Vishwamitra wanted to fulfill his desire, because this Trishanku wanted to enter the heavenly planets in his same body, the human form. So Vishwamitra said, okay, with my yoga tapasya, I have the power, I can send you to heavenly planets in the same body. You can enter the heavenly planets. So using that tapasya bal is the power of austerity, mystical power, Vishwamitra sent him to the heavenly planets. So when Trishanku was about to reach the heavenly planets, he was stopped by the guards of the heavenly planets. The reason was because Trishanku had very serious skin disease. So the guards told him that diseased person cannot enter the heavenly planets. What that person said earlier. So then Trishanku was very upset. So the guards sent him back to the earth planet. So when he was coming down and Vishwamitra saw him, so see, you can understand the advanced technology at that time, the spiritual aspect. Because of the spiritual power, the mystical power, Vishwamitra could communicate with Trishanku, who was falling down to the earth from the heavenly planets. So he was in the space. So Vishwamitra asked him that what's the reason? So Trishanku told him that they told the guards in the heavenly planets, they told him that because he had a skin disease, he could not enter the heavenly planets. So Vishwamitra at that time, because he had promised his disciple that he would help him to enter the heavenly planets. It is said Vishwamitra created a heavenly planet for him, for his disciple Trishanku. So when he created a heavenly planet, which was equivalent, equally opulent, like Indra's planet, king of heavenly planets. So Trishanku was living there. So when Vishwamitra created another planet, Brahma had to intervene. Brahma told him that I have created certain planets in the orbit, and because of their centrifugal force, gravity force, they don't clash with each other. They repel each other. And now you created another planet, so it will cause an imbalance. It will create a disturbance in the balancing of these planets. So they will start clashing with each other. So please, before that situation arises, you remove this planet from the space. So Vishwamitra, using his mystic power, he allowed that whole heavenly planet to merge into his body. And he told Tishanku to come back, and he said that certain laws we cannot break. So what I promise you, you got an experience of living in the heavenly planets. I fulfilled my promise. I allowed you to enter into the heavenly planets, which I created myself. So my promise also is fulfilled. Now we need to abide by the nature's law, which are created by Lord Brahma, following the instructions of Krishna. So we cannot break those laws. Now you come back to the earth planet. So the point I want to make here, 2 points. One is that Vishwamitra, after doing all these things, he never claimed that he is God. He could create a planet, heavenly planet for his disciple, and allow that planet, whole planet, to merge into his body. But still, Vishwamitra never claimed that he is God or incarnation of God. And now in Kali Yuga, certain people, they create certain things and they start claiming that I'm incarnation of God. And people start worshipping them as incarnation of God. We have seen that in India, right? India has become like a factory of producing incarnations of God every day, right? But Vishwamitra never claimed to be God. Now coming to the point, how come Maharaj Yudhishthira was allowed? Because see, when we talk about the earth planet also, supposing now I'm living in Hong Kong, I want to enter into US. My documentation, whatever the requirements are there to comply with, to apply for my visa, something is missing. Now, if something is missing, ordinarily, if that document is not there, ordinarily the person will not be allowed to enter that country, right? Because all the documents have to be completed. Now, if I know the president of the US and he signs my document, okay, that document is not complete, no problem. His visa should be approved. Who can stop me from entering the US? If president himself is allowing me to do that. Now, King of Heavenly Planets himself came to receive Maharaj Yudhishthira. So this default what he had is immaterial. That will not be like a kind of an obstacle for him to enter the heavenly planets, because King of the heavenly planets has come to welcome him. So does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, understood. Yeah. You gave a very good example of that US and Hong Kong.
Yeah. So I just gave material example. So, when we talk about, now this is like going from one country to another. So same kind of rule applies from going from one planet to another planet. From the earth planet to the heavenly planet. So the King of heavenly planets, he himself came to receive him. So nobody could stop him. Right? So
Yes.
because of that, Maharaj Yudhishthira could go. Thank you. Thank you for raising this point.
Thank you.
Thank you. So this is what, last time we were talking 2 weeks ago. Subhiji, I appreciate you raising this point. So what Tripti ji and Varsha ji also, they were saying that, we should make it more interactive. It's not that, I'm sitting here to give pravachan and you just listen.
Actually, I had a question.
Yes.
Am I audible?
Yes,
Yes,
I can
yes.
hear you. Yes. Sanjeev ji, right?
No, this is Rahul.
Rahul, okay.
हाँ, नहीं, मेरा बस ये प्रश्न था कि जैसे कि आप बता रहे हैं कि युधिष्ठिर को मीन्स उनका जो टोल है वो जल गया, पर ये है कि जनरली हम लोग जैसे पढ़ते हैं कि कोई भी कुछ हमारी खामी होती है तो वो किसी बॉडी पार्ट में ना इकट्ठा हो जाती है, तो क्या उस वजह से, क्योंकि अग्नि देव जो हैं वो चीजों को प्योरीफाई करते हैं, तो उस वजह से उनका वो जो बॉडी है वो खत्म हो गया और फिर जो प्योरीफाई हो गए तो फिर वो जा पाए, ऐसे हो सकता है क्या?
नहीं, मैंने ऐसा नहीं कहा कि वो जल गया, वो पिघल गया.
अच्छा, ओके, अच्छा, सॉरी.
It melted.
अच्छा,
melted.
ओके.
It dissolved. It was not burnt.
अच्छा, तो अगर डिसॉल्व भी अगर हो गया और वो चला गया, वो जो जैसे कि जहां पर बॉडी में वो शरीर में एक ना फोर्स बनकर रह गया होगा, तो वो उस वजह से फिर वो जब चला गया तो वो ही इज प्योरिफाइड.
Yeah, you can say that, but we cannot these kind of incidents, each incident we cannot kind of try to fit into our material understanding.
अच्छा, ओके.
आपने जो बात बताई वो सही है, वो जो हमारी जो शरीर के जो रोग होते हैं, जैसे कर्मों को भी अग्निदेव जला देते हैं। हाँ, जो शरीर में भी कोई अगर कर्मों के कारण कोई विकृति आती है तो शरीर का अंग जो अधिक निर्बल होगा वहां पे विकृति एकत्रित हो जाएगी।
हाँ जी, हाँ
राइट।
जी।
सो वो तो हम जो भौतिक संसार में जो नियम है वो भौतिक संसार में चलता है, लेकिन हर एक बात जो ऐसे किस्से हुए हैं इतिहास में, उसको हम ऐसे जोड़ नहीं सकते हैं हमारी भौतिक नियमों के अनुसार। जहां पे वो लागू होता है वहां पे हम लागू कर सकते हैं, लेकिन हर एक जो इतिहास में बात हुई है उसको भौतिक नियमों में उतारना वो उचित नहीं है। That is my understanding. Right? Any other point? Anybody wants to raise any other point or any question? Since you mentioned about this, Rahul, the two things happened, after that when Maharaj Yudhishthir was asked to lie to his guru so that his guru could be killed. One, this happened at the time of when he was going to heavenly planets. At that time, he lost his toe. But at that time itself, on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when he expressed his reluctance while following the instructions of Krishna, his chariot, it is said his chariot would never touch the ground before. But after this reluctance he expressed, he showed his chariot came down on the ground. Because of the power of his piety, his chariot would always be few inches higher than the ground level. But after this incident, when he was reluctant to lie to his guru, when Krishna told him to do that, because he, as I said, he kept his moral values higher than Krishna's instructions. Now, when absolute truth is telling you to do something, and you think that, the moral truth has more value, then you're wrong, right? When we were talking about this incident, I said, sometimes some things may seem right legally, but morally it may be wrong, right? And some things which may be perceived morally right, but legally, logically, it doesn't make sense. And beyond that, some things which is spiritually right, legally, morally, it may be wrong. So person has to follow what is spiritually right. So that is the reason Krishna told him to lie to his guru. Normally, we should not lie to guru, right? And Krishna in Bhagavad Gita is saying that person has to be always honest. So when we were talking about this at that time, I had mentioned, that's why we need to be very careful when we start following instructions of Krishna, because Krishna's many of the instructions are very contradictory. On one hand, he says one should always be honest. On the other hand, on the battlefield, he's telling Maharaj Yudhishthir, the epitome of honesty, to lie to his guru. So very confusing. If we don't understand at the deeper level, by the mercy of Guru, if we are not able to understand, then we get confused. And at confused state of mind, we become offensive. Right? So I would ask if anybody has any other question to raise.
I have a doubt.
Yeah.
Now that it's an open forum.
Yes.
In one of the talk, you had said that even Arjun was not aware that Krishna is the ultimate one.
Yes, go ahead.
And he was considering him as a friend and sakha. It was during that Gita ka gyan mein, Krishna ने उसे बताया कि in different lifetimes, I have seen it. और उसको ये बताया कि I am not a ordinary person, I am the ultimate one. तो युधिष्ठिर को कैसे पता चल सकता है कि जो कृष्ण बता रहे हैं उसकी बात माने? उन्होंने भी उनको एक ऑर्डिनरी जो समझा होगा और उनकी बात उस समय मानने से मना कर दिया होगा। तो इस बात की सजा युधिष्ठिर को क्यों मिले कि उन्होंने युद्ध में जो सच्चाई थी उसका साथ ना देके गुरु की बात माननी ये जरूरी समझ के एक्शन ले?
Very good, very, very good, Subhi. Thank you very much again for raising this point. See, now you need to understand that if you see the whole discussion, then I had mentioned also that Krishna used Arjuna as an instrument to teach us different things. Arjuna very well knew before Krishna spoke to him. I had given this example also, the whole conversation between Arjuna and Krishna, it took place only for 2 Muhuratas, 48 minutes. One Muhurata is 24 minutes. दो घड़ी का एक मुहूर्त होता है. 2 घड़ी मतलब 48 minutes. एक घड़ी 24 मिनट की होती है, तो एक मुहूर्त 48 मिनट का होता है, 2 घड़ियों का. तो 2 घड़ी में पूरा संवाद उनका समाप्त हो गया. The whole conversation was over in 48 minutes. And nowhere Arjuna told Krishna, I did not understand. Can you repeat, please? Whatever Krishna said, Arjuna understood immediately. Because Arjuna knew all these things already. Krishna used Arjuna as an instrument to bring this knowledge, manifest this knowledge for the benefit of mankind, in Kali Yuga particularly, for people like us. So there is no doubt in Arjuna's mind that Krishna is the supreme. If Arjuna had that doubt in his mind, when Arjuna went to ask for the help to Dwarka before the war started, at that time Duryodhana also had gone. Now see, Krishna, when he tests his devotees like Arjuna also he tested. So when Krishna saw Duryodhana and Arjuna, so Duryodhana said that first he should get the chance to ask for help from Krishna because he's senior, he's elder. Arjuna said no. Because Arjuna is younger, so first right Arjuna has. Arjuna has the first right to ask. He was testing Arjuna. Then he told Arjuna and Duryodhana, on one side, there will be my army, Narayani army. Nobody can defeat that army in this world. Even Indra also cannot fight with that army. So on one hand, that army will fight, and on other hand, I will be there, unarmed. I will not fight. So he asked Arjuna. He wanted to test Arjuna. What Arjuna says. Arjuna chose Krishna. So after Duryodhana got, then Krishna again tested Arjuna. Why did you ask for me? I'm not going to fight. My Narayani Sena could have helped you to become victorious, to triumph. So my divine army could have helped you. So Arjuna said, I came to ask for the help from the divinity, not the divine army. You are the divinity. I want you. So Arjuna was 100% sure who Krishna is. There was no doubt in Arjuna's mind. So this whole, we say this is Leela. Krishna used his dear devotees and created a situation in such a way that apparently we see that his devotees also are confused. His devotees also are not sure what they should do. And they are asking Krishna about it. Of course, Krishna, always there to answer. And devotees always should seek. But his devotees, like Pandavas, they are also very advanced. In Sindhi language, there is a saying. The meaning I would just translate. Some of you may not understand if I say in Sindhi. That if a woman who is a mother-in-law wants to teach a lesson to her daughter-in-law, she will chastise her daughter to convey the message to the daughter-in-law. She will not directly chastise the daughter-in-law. This is a kind of, very tricky situation like that. So Krishna also, when he wants to teach something to human beings like us, ordinary human beings, he uses his dear devotees, put them into that situation, what situations can be experienced by ordinary people like us. And in that situation, what his devotees do, following the instructions of Krishna, we also should do the same thing. Now, this was Arjuna's thing. Now, you raise the point about Maharaj Yudhishthira. Now, you may be knowing that when Indraprasth, that palace was constructed, it was ready. So, at that time, this was the conversation between Pandavas, particularly Maharaj Yudhishthira and Krishna. Krishna addressed Maharaj Yudhishthira as Maharaj, as king. Yudhishthira got very disappointed. Then when Krishna looked at Maharaj Yudhishthira's face, he asked him, what happened? Did I say something wrong? Maharaj Yudhishthira told him that before you used to address me as brother, today you're addressing me as a king. if this my crown becomes an obstacle between our relationship, I don't want this crown. You are the supreme person. I can give up all the kingdoms. You know what to speak of kingdom of this earth planet. All 3 planetary systems, kingdoms, I can ignore. I can give up at your lotus feet. But never ever stop addressing me as brother, as your devotee. I'm your devotee. Yudhishthira clearly told Krishna like that. Another incident happened before the war started, when Krishna was preparing to go to Hastinapur as a messenger of peace. So at that time, Krishna said, that I also do not want this war to happen, because, war, the results of war are very devastating. So I don't want this war to happen. So Maharaj Yudhishthira told him that you are the supreme person. You are the creator, you are the maintainer, you are the destroyer. If you do not desire that war should take place, then how the war can take place? Hello?
Yes, continue.
Yeah, so he said that if you do not desire the war should take place, how can the war can take place? So Krishna said, well, now this is a very interesting point us to understand. Krishna told him, yes, I'm the creator, I'm the maintainer, I'm the destroyer. But I'd never intervene in people's free will. Then he gave an example to Maharaj Yudhishthira. Do you think that I wanted Draupadi to be disrobed in the court of Hastinapur in front of so many warriors, great warriors? I would not have desired that, but it happened, right? So I have created this material world, I created the spiritual world, but everything, whatever is happening in the world, it is not according to my desire. Individual's desire also is meaningful. It has importance. Those spirit souls, they are very minute in front of me, but I have given them the freedom, free will to decide and take action. I don't intervene in people's actions. I give them the energy to act. I give them the intelligence to think, to decide. But if they make wrong decisions, I don't intervene. Right? So Maharaj Yudhishthira also very well knew that Krishna is the supreme person. What to speak of Maharaj Yudhishthira and Arjuna? It started with Mother Kunti. Mother Kunti is the first person, one of the first persons. Bhishma Dev also knew about it, and Mother Kunti also knew. You know what is another name of Mother Kunti? Anyone? What is one of the names of Arjuna? Krishna has addressed Arjuna in Bhagavad Gita several times by that name.
Parth.
And what is the meaning of Parth?
Son of Pritha.
Son of Pritha, right?
Okay.
Son of Pritha. Now, most of you may know that the warriors in those days, they always used to worship Lord Shiva. Whenever they would go to fight, wage a war, they would chant Hara Hara Mahadev. Right? That same slogan, Shivaji Maharaj also used to chant Hara Hara Mahadev when he used to go to fight with Mughal kings. So warriors, they used to worship Lord Shiva. Mother Kunti, now that, that tradition, that kind of custom, one of the words is called pratha, right? The Hindi word of the custom. If some kind of custom is followed, we say ye pratha chalti aa rahi hai, right?
Yes.
Mother Kunti changed that pratha of worshipping Lord Shiva, and she openly started proclaiming that Krishna is the supreme person. And she started worshipping him, though Krishna was her nephew. Right? Krishna was Kunti's brother's son. Correct? So Kunti Mata ने वो प्रथा को बदल दिया. उसका रूपांतरण कर दिया। तो उस प्रथा को बदलने के कारण उनका नाम पड़ा पृथा, और पृथा का पुत्र पार्थ हो गया। तो पांडवों को ये जो गुण है अपनी माता से मिला था। Maharaj Yudhishthir, Arjuna, all these Pandavas, they knew about Krishna's true identity, who Krishna really is. He is the supreme person, supreme personality of God at Bhagwan. Krishna is to Bhagwan Swayam. So, Subhiji, does it clarify your doubts?
100%. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you. Thank you for raising very interesting points. See, this kind of thing, when it happens, the interactive session, it makes it very interesting. At least, I feel more interested. I'm not sure about those who are listening. Please share your comments.
काफी कम हमारे भी तो बहुत सारे डाउट्स क्लियर होते हैं एंड इनफैक्ट बहुत ज्यादा इंसाइट्स मिल रही है, तो इंटरेस्टिंग तो है और क्वेश्चंस भी इतने अच्छे पूछ रहे हैं। तो
I had one question. Why does it
Yes,
appear
Rahul.
that stepmotherly treatment of Krishna for Karna?
Krishna's treatment for Karna?
It looks like very little stepmotherly.
Yeah, see, before it was not a problem. Krishna respected Karna a lot. Before I come to this point, what you raised, Rahuji, I want to illustrate the point how much respect Krishna had for Karna. On the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Krishna and Karna and Arjuna, they were fighting face to face, each other, they fighting each other. When Arjuna would shoot arrow and hit Karna's chariot will go few feet away. And when Karna would shoot arrow on Arjuna's chariot would just go only few inches or few millimeters away. And Krishna would admire, what a brave warrior, what a strong warrior. So 1-2 times Arjuna did not bother. But when it happened repeatedly few times, then Arjuna complained to Krishna, I am hitting arrows on Karna's chariot and his chariot is going few feet away, few meters away. And when he's shooting arrows on our chariot is moving only few millimeters, and you are praising him so much and not a single admiration for me, no appreciation for me. Why so being so biased? You're my charioteer, you should boost my morale. You're praising the enemy. Then Krishna told Arjuna, on your chariot, I am sitting with you. I am the creator of the whole material world. All lokas, they reside in me. Hanuman is sitting on the top of your chariot. How heavy Hanuman is. How much weight on your chariot is. So in spite of having so much weight on your chariot, Karna is shooting arrows and sending your chariot few inches away. So he is worthy of admiration. Karna's chariot, not so heavy like your chariot. So when it comes to admiration, Krishna had very high regards for Karna. And when he went to meet Karna to ask for him to become, to accept, that he is eldest of Pandavas. And see now, without consulting, without discussing this with Draupadi, he told Karna that if Karna agreed to become, to reveal, to declare that he is the eldest of Pandavas, eldest son of Mother Kunti, and he would not fight on behalf of Duryodhana, Krishna promised Karna that Draupadi would get married to Karna also and accept him also as a husband. Now, can you imagine that Krishna very well knew that Karna is the one who insulted Draupadi so much in the court of Hastinapur. Correct? In spite of that, because he had very high regard, because he knew in reality Karna was not a bad person. Because of the bad association, Karna became a bad person. That's why association, friendship is very important. What kind of people we associate with is very important in our life. So because of bad association of Duryodhana, a person like Karna also became like that. And because of that, he got carried away to appease Duryodhana. He insulted Draupadi. And Krishna very well knew that Karna, because Karna also was a person of integrity. When Krishna gave him this proposal to accept the seniority of Pandavas, to become the Pandavas' senior brother, the eldest brother, what Karna told him? Karna said, yes, okay, suppose I accept your proposal, I accept your advice. So what will happen when Maharaj Yudhishthir comes to know that I am older brother of Maharaj Yudhishthir, and he becomes the emperor of the whole earth planet? Maharaj Yudhishthir is the epitome of piety, religiosity. He will not accept that crown on his head. He will give that crown to me because I am older to him. And I am so much obliged to Duryodhana, I will give that crown to Duryodhana in return to the favors Duryodhana has done to me. So that will be an injustice to that crown. I know Duryodhana is not qualified to become the emperor of the world. And Karna told, now see here, I want to mention that Karna also knew very well that Krishna is the supreme person. And he told Krishna that I know very well that if Pandavas are protected by you, nobody, what to speak of me, even Bhishma also, Dronacharya also, even my Guru, he told him, my Guru Pashtunam also cannot defeat Pandavas if they are protected by you, because you're the supreme person. So you mentioned about the step, kind of what? Step? What do you use?
Stepmotherly behavior.
Stepmotherly behavior. Yeah, because see now, Karna had all good qualities. But one bad thing he did, he insulted Krishna's devotee, Draupadi. Krishna can tolerate if someone insults him. If Krishna is insulted by someone, Krishna will tolerate that. But if someone insults Krishna's devotee, Krishna will never tolerate that. And because of that, that change happened in Krishna's behavior, his interaction with Karna. Does it answer your question, Rahulji?
Yeah, kind of, yes.
Kind of, not completely.
No, somewhat.
So if you want to have any other doubt, please bring up the doubt. So what else is bothering you? Why you said it's somewhat, not complete?
No, I mean, it looks like, I mean, because वहाँ पर भी थोड़ा सा तो, I mean, yes, what you're saying is that because of the disciple, his disciple being disregarded by Karna. So that is why this happened, you know. But
not disciple, not exactly disciple, his devotee.
So I'm just wondering कि वहाँ पर थोड़ा सा, I mean, it's not immediately coming in. Maybe I'm just contemplating on it. I might.
Yeah,
you know.
see, Rahulji, here we need to understand. Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita that he is neutral to everyone. Samdarshi. He's not biased, right? He's neutral. Like one of his qualities, Krishna's one of the main 6 qualities, which are explained by Parashar Muni in his definition of Bhagwan. Renunciation, one of the qualities Krishna has. So what explanation is given by Parashar Muni and Vyasadeva about the quality of Krishna, of this renunciation? That Krishna doesn't care. He does not interfere in somebody's life, even if the person is not his devotee. Right? If somebody, according to the good karma, is qualified to enjoy the opulence in the material world, Krishna will provide. Krishna will not sanction whatever the opulence the person is supposed to get, right? He's not like the president of US or Europe or anybody, right? Krishna, because he is detached, his quality of renunciation, he's detached. If according to God karma, somebody is qualified to go to the heavenly planets also, Krishna will not stop. Krishna will never say, oh, because you're not my devotee, I will not allow you to go to the heavenly planets. No, if he's qualified, let him go. But when it comes to dealing with his devotees may not have the qualities, material qualities, what others may have. His devotees may not have the account of pious activities, but Krishna will still favor his devotees. This is Krishna's vachan in Bhagavad Gita. He told Arjuna, on my behalf, you proclaim that my devotees will never perish. I will protect my devotees. Whatever my devotees lack, I will provide, and whatever my devotees have, I will protect. So this is Krishna's vachan, Krishna's pratigya. So when it comes to,
did
sorry?
Karna also get to the heavenly planets? I don't know about this part. You know.
Yeah. Karna also went to heavenly planets. Karna also went to the heavenly planets. The evidence is mentioned in the Mahabharata. When I was talking about Maharaj Yudhishthira, he was received by Indra himself, and Maharaj Yudhishthira went to the heavenly planets. So when he went there initially, he saw Duryodhana, his brothers, Dushasan, Vikarna, everybody. They were enjoying. Karna also was enjoying in the heavenly planets. But Maharaj Yudhishthira could not see his brothers. He could not see his wife. So he asked the demigods there, where are my brothers? Where is my wife? So one of the demigods took him to hell for a few minutes. He said, your brothers and your wife are here. Then in the kind of unseen sound, invisible sound, he heard, I am your brother Bhima, I am your brother Arjuna, I am your brother Nakula, Sahadev, and I am Draupadi. And then he asked, why you're here? So at that time, few minutes he had to spend there. And then after that, the demigod said, now let's go. So then other living beings who are residing in the hellish planet, they told Maharaj Yudhishthira that please stay. Your presence is making us feel very comfortable. We are forgetting all the miseries, all the tortures we have been given here in the hellish planets. Please stay. So Yudhishthira Maharaj decided to stay in the hellish planets. Then the demigod told him, now your duration of the hellish planet is over, because you lied to see so many things happen because of his one lie he told to his guru. So he said, because of that, you have to spend some time in the hellish planet. Then he took him to one pond where he told him to take bath so that the feelings, the emotions you are bringing forward from the earth planet will be washed away, and you will get the neutral feelings. Then you can enjoy the amenities in the heavenly planets with the Kauravas, with Karna, everybody. You will not have that kind of emotions what you are carrying, bringing forward from the earth planet. So the point I'm raising, I'm giving you this explanation, illustrating all these points to emphasize on the point that Karna also went to the heavenly planets. Right? Now, sometimes people, they ask, if the Kauravas, they're so bad, they created so many problems for Pandavas, they were so sinful, how come they were elevated to the heavenly planets? I'm asking a question. Can anyone answer this question? How come the Kauravas and Karna also, they were elevated to the heavenly planets? Anyone?
Yes, I'll just try. I don't know, but
Yeah, please.
because they, क्योंकि उन्होंने अपना पूरा कर्तव्य किया था as a Kshatriya, so they went to heavenly planets.
Correct. See, because again, Kauravas also, they were chosen to play a role in this Mahabharata by Krishna himself. So whatever the scripts were given to them, they played that role very well. Like practical example, most of you must be watching Bollywood movies, right? In Bollywood movies, some characters, they play villains role, right? Negative roles. So when those negative roles are played according to the directions of the director, and the dialogues they deliver according to the script writer, the dialogue writer, they get awards, right? We don't say, oh, he's a villain, how can he get the award, Filmfare Award or whatever awards they get? Because they play the role very well. So Kauravas, Duryodhana especially, and Karna also, they played the role very well. So they were elevated, and they left the body in presence of Krishna. So because of that, they were qualified to go to the heavenly planets. Yes? Any other question or any other point?
एक क्वेश्चन दिमाग में आ रहा है.
हाँ.
जैसे हमें पता है कि विदुर जो थे वो तो खुद यमराज थे, ठीक है?
हाँ.
तो ये जो पांडव थे सारे, इवन कौरव में भी ये भी तो कुछ न कुछ इम्पोर्टेंट आत्माएं रही होंगी,
हाँ हाँ ऑफ कोर्स।
तभी
जैसे
इनको ये
हाँ
सब
बोलिए।
रोल मिले।
हाँ, जैसे अर्जुन जो है उसको भगवान कृष्ण ने भी बताया कि वो अर्जुन और कृष्ण देवर नर नारायण ऋषि बिफोर, right? So Arjuna forgot about it, but Krishna as a Narayan, he remembered it. And Maharaj Yudhishthir, he is the son of Dharamraj. Bhima is the son of Pamandev, wind god, right? Nakul and Sahadev, they are the sons of Ashwini Kumaras.
Okay.
So yes, they are also, they are not ordinary people. They are very elevated souls. Krishna will not choose ordinary people to take part in his leelas.
Correct.
Right? Any other point?
Yeah, one more point. I just wanted
Yes.
to ask, ki if you said ki Arjun went to hell, right?
Arjuna went to hell? No.
Yeah, no.
Maharaj Yudhishthir.
No, but he saw there, na? Everybody in the Kaurav were there in heavenly planets. But
Yes.
Pandavas were not there in the heavenly planets at that time?
At that time, no. They were there, but Maharaj Yudhishthir could not see them.
Yeah, so where were they? They were...
When Maharaj Yudhishthir, because that the demigod, the guard of the heavenly planets, he took Maharaj Yudhishthir to the hellish planet. And there, Maharaj Yudhishthir did not see them, but he heard them. He heard the voices. Somebody said, I'm Bhima. Somebody said, I'm Arjuna. Somebody said, I'm Nakula, like that. So it's not that Pandavas were there, but the voices he could hear. And because of that, and when he was leaving, that God said, no, your time is up. Your duration is over of living in the heavenly planet, hellish planet. Now you go back to the heavenly planet. And then the other living beings, they pleaded to Maharaj Yudhishthir, please stay here longer so that we can feel more comfortable in your presence. Because Yudhishthir Maharaj had that aura. He created that positive aura around us. So people in the heavenly hellish planets, they were feeling very comfortable. So because of that, Maharaj Yudhishthir decided to stay for the sake of their comfort. So I did not say that.
No. I just my confusion is like, if Pandavas were there in a hellish planet, Pandavas were there, no? In hellish planet.
No, they were not there. I said they were not there, but Maharaj Yudhishthir heard the voices. He heard the sound.
What should we understand right now?
Yeah, so this whole arrangement was made by Lord Indra because Maharaj Yudhishthira had to spend some time in the hellish planet. And this also was like a test. When Maharaj Yudhishthira heard the voices, somebody said, I'm Bhima, I'm Arjuna, I'm Nakul, I'm Sahadev. At that time, after that, when the guard told him, okay, you leave, Maharaj Yudhishthira decided to leave. But when the other living beings who were suffering in the hellish planets, when they pleaded to Maharaj Yudhishthira, please stay back for our sake, we are feeling very comfortable. So Maharaj Yudhishthira gave more importance to what the living beings were telling him. He did not pay so much attention to somebody said, I'm Bhima, somebody said, I'm Arjuna, like that. So there also, Maharaj Yudhishthira did not lose his balance, his equilibrium of his rationalism. He decided to stay in the hellish planet so that he can create a comfortable situation for other living beings, not only his brothers and his wife.
हो सकता है कि आई मीन जो कौरव थे उनका जो कर्म का जो चीज था, क्योंकि दे गॉट अ वेरी नेगेटिव थिंग ऑन अर्थ, so maybe that the whatever karma and the vasanas, they all got खत्म हो गए उनके वहां पर, और इस वजह से they got elevated to the heavenly planets. Whatever the vices there, they I mean suffered the consequences of that. And whereas Pandavas, they have not, like the 5 Pandavas, they didn't get any kind of a negative outcome of whatever vices they had. So they could not enter into the heavenly planet. They had to go through the hell.
No, so, Pandavas, see, because what you mentioned, Rahul, is a valid point. because they had some vices. Suppose, they were playing the role again. They did not have vices as such, like we have vices. Because of that, they were not qualified, as I mentioned earlier. They were not qualified to enter into the heavenly planets in the same body. They had to leave the body. Right? So they paid off the karma. They paid off the karma, what they did for what they performed on the earth planet by giving up the body on the earth planet itself. So there is no question that they went to hell. There is no question about it. There is no doubt about it. I mean, there is no question about it that they went to hell. They did not go to hell, but in the hellish planet, the atmosphere was created in such a way, again, to test Maharaj Yudhishthir, that in the hellish planet, in that kind of situation, see now, people like us, ordinary people like us, when the situation is comfortable, favorable, we can abide by the law. We can follow the rules and regulations very well. Correct? We can maintain our equilibrium. We can maintain our balance of our mind. Our words also can come properly. But when the situation becomes adverse, something goes haywire against our desire, against our expectation, what kind of words come from our mouth? What kind of behavior we have at that time? If we recall that kind of behavior and we kind of remember the words we speak in that kind of situation, we start hating ourselves, that what kind of person we are. Right? So in that kind of hellish situation also, Maharaj Yudhishthir, though he carried the same body what he had on the earth planet, when he entered the hellish planet, still he could maintain his peacefulness. When he heard the living beings in the hellish planets requesting him, please stay here for our sake, so that your presence is making us feel comfortable. For our sake, you please stay. Maharaj Yudhishthir decided to stay in the hellish planet. He gave more importance to the feelings of the living beings there than his own comfortable feeling. This is Maharaj Yudhishthir. Right? So these incidents, when we read about it, we hear about it, we discuss about it, we need to go at a deeper levels, that what kind of lessons we can learn from these incidents. Then only the discussion becomes more worth in our time. We need to understand what kind of teachings we should imbibe on these kind of incidents. Does it make sense what I'm saying?
Yes, yes.
So just want to, I mean, okay, I understand what you're saying. So is it like the Pandavas did not go to hell? Because there is a lot of confusion.
Yeah, that's my question also.
Yeah,
that's what I was thinking.
No. Yes, they did not go to hell. They did not go to hell.
Yeah.
No, they did not go to hell.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, because Arjuna has himself was the person who was the first person to hear Gita. So
Yes.
how can he go to hell? That's what was
correct. There is no question that they went to hell. They did not go to hell, but the invisible sound, what Maharaj Yudhishthir heard, he felt that it was Bhima, it was Arjuna, like that. But Pandavas, they were not in that. They were in the heaven. That's why when he went back to heaven, he saw that Pandavas were enjoying. They were playing the same dice game with Kauravas together. They were laughing, joking with them.
Okay.
Like the practical, again, material example I share with you. When suppose any set is made for a movie shooting, when the hero and villain, they're fighting, after the scene is over, they sit together, they have dinner or lunch together, right? They're enjoying, joking, laughing with each other. So same way, Pandavas and Kauravas in the heavenly planets, they were laughing, joking together. Yes.
Wonderful example. ये पूरा धरती drama है.
Yes.
And we are doing a role play.
Yes. Now here, a very good point you raised, Shakuntalaji. When it comes to these highly elevated living beings, like Kauravas also, they're not ordinary human beings, right? So they are given some role. They are chosen by the Maya of Krishna to play certain role, right? We are not chosen. We are not at that stage where Krishna's Maya will choose or do something. We are living our life according to our karma. We are bound by karma, not controlled by, in a sense, not like directly controlled by Krishna's Maya. We are not so important that Krishna will intervene in our life. But whenever any kind of calamity happens, any miserable situation, if we humbly just take it as Krishna's prasad, that Krishna is doing to teach us something, so that can be very humbling experience. It should not cause an arrogance, oh, because we are so important that Krishna is creating problem for us. Krishna, उसके पास और बहुत सारे काम धंधे हैं करने के लिए. हाँ, हमारा कृष्णा के लिए हम इतने महत्वपूर्ण नहीं है. हमारे जीवन का महत्व नहीं उसके पास कि वो हमारे जीवन में इंटरवीन करे. हाँ, लेकिन कृष्णा ने एक प्रकार से वो प्रथा बनाई है. The provision is already made by Krishna that we can elevate ourselves to that, where Krishna also starts taking interest in our life. Right? So when we use our free will properly, according to the following the injunctions and the principles in the scriptures, then Krishna will take interest in our life. Otherwise, Krishna will not be interested. This is what it reminds me of one incident when Srila Prabhupada, the founder Acharya of International Society for Krishna Consciousness, Hare Krishna movement. Once one journalist asked him, Swamiji, have you seen God? So Srila Prabhupada told him that if I say yes, will you believe me? Journalist did not have any answer. So Prabhupada said, you have to be ready to accept the answer. You have already preconceived idea that what kind of answer I will give you. Then he told him that Prabhupada told him that, I'm training my disciples, I'm training my devotees to live a life in such a way that Krishna sees them. They don't have to see Krishna. We are not qualified to see Krishna. Even a disciple, a devotee like Arjuna was not qualified to see Krishna. That's why when Krishna showed him that Virat Swarup, gigantic form, he gave Divya Drishti to Arjuna. He told him that, with these eyes you cannot see that form. So I'm giving you Divya Drishti. So even a person like Arjuna was not qualified to see Krishna's actual form. So what to speak of us? So we should not be so much kind of hankering to see Krishna. We should live our life in such a way that Krishna sees us. Krishna starts taking interest in our life. And then there is nothing like it. If Krishna takes interest in our life, Krishna becomes a protector of ours, then nothing like it. Right? Anything else before we conclude today's meeting?
Good session. Maja aaya.
Yes. It was very interactive today and very interesting because of that. Yes.
And इतना सारा इनका details भी की कैसे ये पांडव एंड कौरव ये भी कोई ह्यूमन बीइंग नहीं थे. ये सभी चूजन थे और अपना अपना रोल प्ले कर रहे थे. दिस इज आल्सो इंटरेस्टिंग.
यस. जैसे मैंने पिछली बार बताया था अश्वत्थामा के विषय में. I spoken about Ashwatthama. Ashwatthama also was given the script, but he misused his free will. Right? He shot that Brahmastra to kill Parishit Maharaj in the womb of Uttara because he got deviated from the original script. That gem on his forehead was removed. Right? Triptiji, any question you have or any comment?
Not at all. It was a very interesting session. I missed a little bit in the middle because I'm in somebody's house, so
I understand.
time for dinner was there, so obviously.
I understand. No problem.
Yeah, but I'll listen to it later.
Yeah, no problem.
Okay. So thank you so much, Vinodji. Thank you everybody for being here.
Thank you. Hare Krishna to everyone.
Hare Krishna to everyone.